rundown on lesson 1-4, so you'll notice there's actually 3 postings for 1-4. There's a reason for that. You're going to pick one of these 2. Now, if you go into the first one, this New Madrid Fault Eyewitnesses, there's a whole bunch of first-person stories about earthquakes that happened in New Madrid. Now, New Madrid's the one that it affected around this area, but it didn't happen here, but it still had some shaking here. So you're going to be looking at, you can pick one of the, well, could be 1, could be 2, depends on how many you need. Some of these are easier to read than others. This eyewitness accounts one right here is a combination of some that I had found. You don't have to read every single document to its full extent. What I want you to do is go through the articles. I want you to find 8 characteristics of how they describe the New Madrid earthquake. Now, if you don't want to look at these, there is this earthquake script, and this is meant such that you could read it aloud in a group. We could do this as a class where we have each person read one person's content. But I'm going to have it here as an option for you to use because these are all like based on firsthand accounts. Now, these might not necessarily this early stuff, but once you get into, like this one tells you it's a primary source. Okay. These typically the people in it are primary sources. It'll let you know if they're primary sources. Those are the ones I want you to focus on, but some of the other information will give you some background on what might have been going on at the time. This one's going to be a slightly longer article, but the nice thing is it takes little clips from some of those primary sources that are in the other one, and it's probably a little bit easier reading, potentially. Some of those other firsthand accounts are like type font where they're kind of, like for the instance, this one to me is just very busy and a little harder to read. So you have these options and this option. If you go this option, you shouldn't have to look at the other one. This one's like 9 pages long. You're just going to skim through what you need. And then I want you to come up with 8 descriptions that relate to the damage or what eyewitnesses saw that describe the earthquake. And then how would you describe the strength of the earthquake if you compare the descriptions to the witnesses to the attached Mercalli scale? You'll be learning more about the Mercalli scale later, and we'll do more activities with it, but I want you to compare their descriptions to these descriptions and then just tell me, you can either tell me that the shaking was one of these. I prefer if you put the number, the Roman numeral number that it has, and these are just 1 through 10. Okay, so if you don't know your Roman numerals, just know it counts 1 through 10 at the bottom. So that's what I want you to do with this. If you want to work with another person, you can. You can skim through together, make a list. Just make sure when you go to do the response, you either both do the response in your own Google Classroom or when you put in your response, put in a private comment that you also worked with that person or just include it at the top. When you go to put in, I can't go to the student side to see, but when you answer the question, just put both of your names at the top and then I'll know it was both of you. But you're more than welcome to work together on this. So that's kind of what I'm expecting as far as looking at these firsthand accounts.